So this is Shir's Lakavet. Said that we should start with the Shebech for Tzahal, going into Gaza. So this Shir's Lakavet L'Schus for the Chatufim and for the soldiers that are going right now, Sios Nefesh, to eradicate Haman Bizmanenu. Okay. Recap. The Mishnah spoke that there are certain individuals that have to go up to the Beis Hamikdash, and when they go up to the Beis Hamikdash, they have to bring 3 karbanos. And then the Mishnah enumerates the few individuals that this does not apply to. Let's start saying a tumtum, a doigan, someone we don't know if it's a man, a woman, a child. We went through some of these individuals, why they don't have to go up to the Beis Hamikdash, and now the Gemara is holding by talking about Nashim, talking about women, talking about slaves that weren't freed, and this is what we're holding. So the Gemara brought us pasuk, and it says 3 times a year, Shalish Pa'am Bashana, Yedoah Kol Zechulcha. The concept of Re'iyah, of being seen in the Beis Hamikdash and bringing Korban Oilas to the Iyah, that concept comes from a pasuk that says 3 times a year you have to go to the Beis Hamikdash. Now it says here, if you want to say that everyone has to go to the Beis Hamikdash, the pasuk would simply say Shalish Pa'am Bashana, 3 times a year. You should be seen in Beis Hamikdash, or Beis Hamikdash. What's it called? Doesn't have to say males. The fact that the pasuk says males, it's coming to teach you only males, not females. But the pasuk doesn't just say males. The pasuk says all your males. Kol zechulcha. It says zachar is male, zechulcha are your males. Kol zechulcha is all your males. So each of these things are teaching us or excluding something. So zechar is coming to exclude females. Zechulcha, your males, is coming to exclude anyone that wouldn't be considered your male, which we said is a tumtum and we don't know exactly what it is. Kol zechulcha, here it's different. If you say males, it's coming to take something away. Females. If you say kol all, usually it's coming to add. So the Mishnah, the Chacham said here, kol is coming to add children. And this is what we're holding. Amama. Kol zechulcha. The fact that it says kol zechulcha, all your males. The fact that it says all. Le'abes zaktanim is coming to include children. The children could go to the Beis Hamikdash. They have a chiyuv to go to the Beis Hamikdash. They're required to go and bring a korban of the ear and bring and go to Beis Hamikdash and be seen in Beis Hamikdash. Hey, Davdal, Daban Aleph, in the middle of the page. In our Mishnah, it said very clearly, first line of our Mishnah, it says, Chutz mecher shet v'kotten. What not chutz mecher shet v'kotten? This is very clear. A child does not have to go to Beis Hamikdash. How do you come with this pasuk to teach us that a child has to go to Beis Hamikdash? So in the Mishnah we said that little children don't have to go to Beis Hamikdash. And a child that reaches an age that he can go up without a fuss from the Azal to Yerushalayim, from the beginning of Yerushalayim to the Azal to go to Beis Hamikdash, such a child has a chiyuv not minat Torah. The Torah doesn't tell you have to go. Such a child has a chiyuv mitzat chinuch, education. We want to educate the child that this is an important thing. This is what we have to do. So they bring up the child to the Beis Hamikdash at a certain age. The Torah doesn't even give us an age factor. It doesn't tell you it's 12, 13, which is called an ish. It's when your child is ready to go up, walk by himself to the Beis Hamikdash, your father doesn't have to carry you, then, then that's when you have to bring him to Beis Hamikdash. So, but in the Mishnah, it's very clear that this is not a chiyuv, this is not a requirement in the Torah, this is mid'Rabbanan. The Chacham said that from mitzat chinuch, for education purposes, you have to bring up early. So how does this pasuk teach us that a child comes up to Beis Hamikdash? This would mean that there's a chiyuv min Torah to go to Beis Hamikdash. The here we're speaking about a child that is going up because of education. In the Mishnah that it says he does to exclude a child is talking about a child that did not reach the age of education. He's too young to go up, and that's what the Mishnah is talking about. But then we ask again, 1 second. We know from our Mishnah the fact that child that is very young but is old enough to be educated, that is not a deraisa. That's not coming from the Torah. You don't have no chiyuv. It's only the chiyuv is only that you want to teach your child how to do mitzvahs. And with the Gemara in Hachiname, you're right. The concept of a child that is at a certain age and can walk up to Beis Hamikdash, enjoying his father, and going to be Oile L'Regel, that is Midrabanan. You don't have to bring him up. That is only Midrabanan. But once they said, that a child is to go up, they found not a proof, but they found in a smachta, a supporting pasuk, v'chas smachta ba'alma. It's just a supporting thing. You kol zechulcha is teaching a child. If that's the case, if kol zechulcha, the word kol, all, is not teaching you children, but it's only a supporting, it's supporting the Mishnah, then the word kol is redundant, and we have to use the word kol for something else, because every word is counted in the Torah. So if that's the case, if that's the case, what's the word kol used for? It's going to according to the Chedim. Chedim was, the Chedim was a male, and his friend, he had a friend, and they went against the Shimon ben Gamliel. They wanted to oust him as a Nasi, and it was a whole shtick. And they, as a punishment, for a long time, they did not mention him in the Gemara. Chedim is a man. The other one, I forgot his name, is Yesh Oimrim. When I see Yesh Oimrim, then this is the other thing. Later on, when the Rebbe came and did the Mishnayos, it says that they forgiven, and in certain Mishnayos later on we see his name that Meir mentioned. But Chedim is a Meir. What does Meir say? Hamekametz, someone that's kmitza, someone who's gathering. Who gather with his hand. What is he gathering? Dog feces. Is Pasha picking up? Dogs make certain, make feces, and he picks it up. What is it for? So Rashi says that there's a certain thin type of leather, which is called koldavan. Why is it called koldavan? So the Gilyon Ashas, not the Gilyon Ashas. It is the where did I see it? In a different Gemara. It's basically in Cordova and Spain, they had a certain way to use very thin leather, and in order to work it out to make it into something, they would work it out with, they would work into it dog feces, and that's how you strengthen it or work the leather out. It's a very...
It's horse leather. Cordovan is horse leather.
Okay, so
I don't know if it's exactly the same, but that's what Cordovan is.
Nowadays, now we have to look what that's
referred to.
Okay. It says here, it says, I don't know. Oh, here, Hagaz V'Tziurim, it says, these were done in Cordova in Spain. So anyways, so that's, I guess, where they came up with it. Rashi, that's what Rashi knew, or the Hagaz V'Tziurim knew it. In any case, it was a very degrading job, but not only a degrading job, you smelled for weeks. A simple shower, going to mikvah did not help. So such a person, it was disgusting. People couldn't be around him. So such a person would not go to Beis Hamikdash. Why? Because he can't be included with all the people. All the males, everyone has to come out. He cannot be included in all because people don't want to be around. That's one person. My comments. Now, Mitzav Nechoshes, there's two pshatim what a Mitzav Nechoshes is. One says that he digs up the copper from the ground. It's I guess mining job. Have a mining job. Also, you're dirty, you're sweaty, you're filthy, and it would not be pleasant to be around you. Or some others say that he goes around the garbage cans and takes out any items that he sees any copper, then takes the copper, removes the copper from that, and then resells it. But it's again, you're in garbage cans, you're dealing with trash, and you stink and you smell and you're dirty, and such a person also it's not pleasant to be around. Vehabusi. And Abusi is someone who works at tanning hides, someone who works out the hides and leather making stuff. So there's also a very degrading, a job that entails a lot of smell and sweat. So as a person going up, it says all males, whoever is worthy or could go up with all males. We're excluding these three individuals, or the jobs that these individuals hold. They cannot go up because of their smell. It's not pleasant to go up to them. Alright. The Mishnah, it says that women and avadim, slaves that were not freed, do not go up, do not have a chiyuv of going up to the Beis Hamikdash for alil and eil. So we said already before, the chulcha, the part of the chulcha teaches you woman. Where do we know avadim? Where do we learn Nashim Kedamon? Like we said before, that Chulcha is Zachar, is male, not female. Ela Avadim in Alon. How do we know that slaves do not go up to the Beis Hamikdash? Amar Avuna, Amar Kod, the Pasuk said, El Pnei, when you go up to the Beis Mikdash, what do? You go El Pnei Ha'odin Hashem. You're going to greet the master, Hashem. Misha'ein le'elo Odin Echad. You have to only have one master. If you have another master, then you cannot say the master. It says not El Pnei Odin Hashem, El Pnei Ha'odin Hashem. The master. He is the master. I have another master. So therefore, there has to be only one master. The Evet, the slave, has another master, and therefore it doesn't go up. Why do you need a pasuk to teach you that an Evet does not have to go up? We know a klal that an Evet Ivri is like a woman. Women have mitzvahs that they have to do, mitzvahs they don't have to do. And Evet Ivri is like a woman, has the chiyuvim of a woman. So if the woman, we know, they don't have to do these mitzvahs. You don't have to have a pasuk to teach us that an Evet, a slave, does not have to do mitzvahs. Where do we know that an Evet, a slave, does not has mitzvahs like a woman? So the Gemara says, "Michdi kol mitzvah she'isha chayeves ba, Evet chayev ba." Isn't it no that every mitzvah that a woman is mechuyev, she has to do Evet chayev ba? And again, the opposite also. Kol mitzvah she'ena isha chayeves ba. Every mitzvah that a woman does not have to do, and Evet chayev ba, Evet does not have to do. Why do we know that? The Gama lo meisha. There's a pasuk that says the cost of law, sefer kusus, that a husband decides that he wants to divorce his wife. As long as she's his wife, they live together, and at the moment he wants to divorce her and send her out, the cost of law, he writes to her a sefer kusus. There's another pasuk that actually today chitas. The pasuk reads, "V'ish ki yishkaf isha shichva zeh, v'hi shivcha nachrefes ish." If someone was sleeping with a woman, and she is a shifcha, she's a maidservant. And it says, V'hovdei lo yivda. So what does Rashi say? That she's hovdei, I'm just pointing out, we'll see later on the question. V'hovdei lo yivda. V'hovdei, she was redeemed. Lo yivda, she was not redeemed. We're talking about as maidservant that was half-half. But that's a side note. Oy chuvsha lo nitan lo, or that's, hovdei lo yivda is money. Chuvsha lo nitan lo, she wasn't given freedom with a shtar, with a paper. And he gets a punishment, malchus. Anyway, so, this pasuk says also chuvsha lo nitan lo. A woman, in order for her to buy her freedom, to get her freedom, she has to get a get, the kosav lo. A maidservant, in order to get her freedom, she has to get a shtar, or someone redeems her. It says chuvsha lo nitan lo. It says again the word lo. So we do gzeira shava. Now gzeira shava is not something that anyone can do. It's a klal. The person cannot do gzeira shava. Gzeira shavas come all the way from Matan Torah, come all the way from Moshe Sinai. If Moshe Sinai taught it us, and the Chacham later on gave it over, generation after generation, then we do this Gzeira Shava. This Gzeira Shava comes straight from Sinai, and it tells you, yes, that we compare. Here it speaks about a woman, here it speaks about a maidservant, and it says law, so we compare all the laws that apply to a woman, apply to a maidservant. That's how we learn that the maidservant has the same mitzvahs as the woman. Mitzvahs she has to do, mitzvahs she doesn't have to do, it's just a woman. And the same thing also, we point out, the Gemara points out the same thing also with an Evet. But the pasuk only speaks about a maidservant. Taisva says, so what's about an Evet? What about a slave, a male slave? So it's a simple answer. Technically, for a maidservant, you don't need to have a special pasuk to teach her she could do it not the mitzvah. She's a woman. And just don't even look at her as a maidservant, just look at her as a woman. So just a woman is not allowed to do, or has to do certain things. The maidservant has to do. So basically, the Taisa says this whole law gzeira shava law is really for a male servant, because for the woman, for the male servant, because for a female, for a maid servant, you don't need this gzeira shava. In any case, I think about it. So if you have a pasuk that teaches us that a servant is just like a woman, it's just like a woman that has the same mitzvahs, then why do you need a pasuk of Pnei Adon Hashem? Why do you need a pasuk to say that only one that has no other master, right? As other Gemara, Ravina answered, this pasuk, Pnei Adon, we need it for a slave that is half. A full-time slave, he's a full slave. Yes, we learn from a woman. Just like a woman has no chiyuv, a male slave, a full slave, or a female slave has no chiyuv. But if someone is half, here we have to have a pasuk. Here we have to have a pasuk. Why? Because the pasuk of Chuv Shel Nitan Lo speaks, it actually speaks about a woman that is half. But the pasuk, Tosfos says, focuses on the part of the enslavement. The pasuk is trying to bring out because she's still enslaved. That's why they get malchus. So the pasuk speaks only really focus on enslavement. So if the pasuk is talking about enslavement, it can only the shava can only work for a full slave. For a slave that is half this, half that, such a slave, we need to have a pasuk to say. Technically, you would say he has 50% of his is a free person. He should go to Beis Hamikdash. No, you have another master, and therefore he can't go. That's the answer. So the Gemara about Daikanami, proof that the Mishnah is talking about a half slave, half free person, because the Mishnah says very clearly, Noshim, women, Vavodim, and slaves, She'enim Meshacham, that are not freed. My She'enim Meshacham, what does it mean they're not freed? Ile She'enim Meshacham Klal, are they talking about slaves that are not freed at all? Listen, Avodim, just say slaves. Yeah? Listen, Avodim Stamach, just say slaves. If he says slaves, it means full slaves. If he means someone that's freed, it means full freed. A slave that is not freed means he's half freed and half not freed. Okay, the pasuk speaks about the evet that's half evet, half mechoden. The Gemara we already had, the Gemara 2 pages before, teaching us that such a slave has no takana and they have to be redeemed because otherwise they can't do anything with themselves. They can't do the mitzvah. They cannot do plur levu. They can't have children. So therefore, but in case we're talking about Yontif came and he is in that status of a half slave, half freed person, such a person does not go up to the Beis Hamikdash because of Pnei Adon Hashem. Next Gemara, 3 lines in the bottom. Ve'hachiga ve'asuma ve'achol ve'zok. The Mishnah enumerates someone that has a limp, is limping away. Someone that is blind. Blind we already had in the Gemara before that he has to be seen with 2 eyes. The choyle is someone that is sick, and a zaken someone that is old. The guy that limps, the choyle and the zaken, they don't have energy. The choyle, that's what it means. They don't have energy to walk up, and such a person doesn't have a chiv to go up. Tana Abanon. It says in pasuk shalosh regalim. Regalim means times, but the Chacham teaches it also means feet. Regalim, you have to have your own feet. Parat lebalakavim. It comes to exclude someone that has a prosthetic, fake feet, prosthetic. Dava achal. Another pshat is legolim prat lechiga lechoil l'sum lezaken, and this Tana Rabbanan, this Mishnah that Machloik is Tanakama and the second person, and one said that legolim means someone that has no prosthetics cannot go up. The other pshat is no, that the chiga lechoil l'sum is someone that's limping, a sick person, and a blind person, and an elderly person, or whoever cannot walk up the feet. Technically, you could say that according to the second opinion, someone that has artificial legs, prosthetics, would go up because it doesn't mention that. If you walk properly with your legs, then this is not. So no, so the explanation says it's not true. That this person that has this opinion that regalim goes on someone that limps. We learned already from a different pasuk that says shalish pa'amim. Pa'amim means times, and pa'amim also means feet. You have to have your physical flesh feet in order to walk up. So anyways, as someone that has a prosthetic, everyone agrees that he does not have a chiyuv to go up. He does not have to go up. And we learned it from shalish regalim, or it's a personal lip. Now the Mishnah over there says, adds another person, whoever cannot walk up with the feet. We're including someone here, we're not mentioning clearly what it is. Someone that is spoiled, and he cannot walk up with his bare feet. It says that when you go into the Beis Hamikdash, you have to take off your shoes, you have to take off your socks technically also, and you have to walk bare feet. If someone is an istanis, if someone is mefunak, he is spoiled, he cannot walk with his own feet, he has no chiyuv. Why? The chsiv, it says a pasuk in the Haftarah of Chazon Yeshayahu ben Ometz. It says over there, Yeshayahu was giving Musa, he was telling the Yidden off, and he told them that the time will come, you'll want to go to the Beis Hamikdash, and Eibush says, I don't want you to come. When you come to see my face, who asked you to do this? And what does the Navi call them? The one that trample my courtyard. Why would it trample the courtyard? Because with shoes, if you walk around with shoes in the chatzah of the Beis Hamikdash, you're trampling in the courtyard. From here we see that a person that walks with shoes in the Beis Hamikdash, such a person, the Eibush says, don't come to the Beis Hamikdash. So we see that potter doesn't have to go up. Zakti Gemara weiter. Tana, we learned, ha'adei, someone that is not circumcised, doesn't have a bliss. Now there's a few reasons why someone doesn't have a bliss. Someone is scared of the Bismillah and doesn't do it. His father didn't do it, and he's worried. He's scared of the actual surgery type thing. There's other people that there had two brothers that passed away after this. Then the third boy has no chiyuv of meal until they find, I guess, the illness, till they heal it. So there's two different types of adelim, and we'll see soon. Tana ha'adal v'tamei p'tur min ha'iyah. Ha'adal, if someone that is uncircumcised and someone is tamei, is potter for going up for sure. Is potter from bringing the korban, sending the korban with a messenger. Take my korban for the Eibishter. Bishloim tamei. How do we know that tamei does not have to even send a korban? The chsi, because it doesn't pasuk. Uvas shama. It says you come then. Then the next pasuk says vavesim shama, and you should bring korbanos. And we say kol sheyeshnem be whoever can come to the Beis Hamikdash. Yeshnem be'avah. Such a person has to also bring a korban. A tamei can't go to Beis Hamikdash because he's tamei. Therefore, he doesn't have to bring a korban. Chol she'eina beviyah, eina be'avah. Whoever cannot come like a tamei, eina be'avah, he doesn't have to bring a korban. So that's a tamei. How do we know that someone that is uncircumcised also doesn't have this? How do we know that such a person does not have to send a korban to the Beis Hamikdash on Shalosh Shigalim? The Gemara, Mani Rabbi Kiva. This Mishnah goes according to Rabbi Kiva. Rabbi Kiva learns that the adl and the tamei as one come hand in hand. The Marbi, what is it? It goes about change. The Marbi leila adl. He learns out the adl ketami. He says that the adl is just like a tamei. Why does he compare the person that doesn't have a bris like a tamei? The Tana Rabbi Kiva. It says in pasuk by kohen that does the avodah. So ish. Pasuk says ish. Mizer harin vutzu azov. A person that is from the children of Hadan, he has tzaras, he's a matzayda, or he's tamei. He should not eat kadashim. So the pasuk speaks about someone that's tamei, but the pasuk uses the word ish. It's a double lashon. You can say ish mizer harin. A person mizer harin. Why does it say a person? That's one of the ish is redundant. So the second ish is to teach you to come teach you another person that just like a tamei has a way to become tahil. The kohen that wants to do the avodah is tamei now, but if he does whatever he needs to do, he becomes tahil. The adl also, if he wants to, is similar to the tamei that he has a way to redeem himself by taking up this. So that's why he compares the adl and the tamei. And so basically now that we know the adl is just like the tamei, just like the tamei doesn't have to bring a korban because he can't go to Beis Hamikdash, and adl also does not have to bring a korban. Tana abadim, tamei potter min ha'iyah. A tamei is potter from going up to Beis Hamikdash and bringing a korban and sending a korban. The chsiv of Vasashama Beis Shama, summarizing what we learned. It says in pasuk of Vasashama Beis Shama, when you come, then you can bring kol sheshtem maviyah, yeshtem avah, kol sheshtem maviyah and avah. If you can come, you bring. If you can't come, you don't even bring. You don't even send. If someone is blind with one eye, is also potter from this. It says twice. He has to be seen. He has to be able to see and be seen. So, but there has to be two eyes. Otherwise, we stay enough with two eyes. The Tosfos asks in the question. We're coming from the Yontif Pesach. Yontif Pesach, we have to bring a korban Pesach. It says in by korban Pesach that a tamei cannot bring it, and it says in adl cannot. It says v'adl zachal leyochal. It says an adl should also not bring a korban. Question Tosfos asks if an adl is just like a tamei. We just established that a tamei and adl have the same status, the same halachas. If an adl is just like a tamei, why by Pesach, by the korban Pesach, does the Torah say specific that an adl doesn't bring a korban? Why does it say specifically? So that's the answer. So this is where it mentioned that there's a different types of adelim. There's an adl that is an adl that he by choice he scared of this. That's why he doesn't do this. Such a person, yes, we can include with a limit of adl tamei. But a person that has no by against his will, he's an adl because two of his brothers passed away. Such a person, you would have thought that maybe he should go out because he's honest. He's what should he do? He's a medical issue. So for this specific person, the Torah has to say that such a person cannot even call him Pesach. This is the Tosfos in the bottom. Right. Anyways, now we're going to go through the psukim that we mentioned that the individual Amoraim read a pasuk and it brought him to tears. Avuna came to this pasuk. Yira, Bachi, he cried. Because he said, what's Yira? Yira is the Eibishter wants us to come to Beis Hamikdash. I want to see you. I want you to see me and I want to see you. Bachiv Omar, he said, Evet Sherabi Mitzapel Loise, a servant that his master is looking forward to seeing him, and is Sadachik Meno, that later on the master will go away from him. How do we know the master will go away from him? How do we know the Eibishter ends up pushing us away? Because of our Aved. Because it says again in Yeshayahu, Kisavoy Lios Ponai, Mi Pikashas Miatrim, Mamas Chatzeret. We see a pasuk here again. The Eden want to come up to Beis Hamikdash. The Eibishter says, don't come. I don't want you to come. Okay, so that's why he cried, but when he came to this pasuk, because he knew eventually the Eibishter will say, I don't want you to come. And what kind of master wants his servant to come and then goes away from him? Avuna kimot Avuna again. When it comes to another pasuk, Bachi, what was the pasuk? Vezavachto shlomim. You bring a korban shlomim. Ve'ochalto shom ani eidin Beis Hamikdash. So Zaktar Azay, Eved sherabai metzape le'echol al shechonei. A servant that his master wants his servant to eat with him at the same table. That's the Zavach Shalom, bring a korban to the Mizbeach. I want you to come to the Mizbeach. I want you to bring a korban. Yisrachik mena, then the master goes away from the Chsiv. Lama li'oev zivchechem yom Hashem. This is a weiter. This is again continuing in Yeshaya. It says over there, the Eibush says, why do I need the majority of your korbanos? I'm already Yom Hashem. Savati oilos elim. I'm already satiated. I'm full of the oilos and of everything else. I don't need your korban. The Mashah explains here. Why does the pasuk focus only on a korban shlomim, and then the pasuk later on in Sheretaka says that we're talking about the zevach. Zevach is usually a korban shlomim. Why are we only focusing on the korban shlomim? So the Mashah explains that a shlomim is the only korban that a person brings to the Beis Hamikdash. Part of it goes on the mizbeach, and part of it the owner eats. So we are doing a shutfus, we're doing a partnership. The Eibishter and the person does a short partnership. And on this, the Eibishter says, even this, that I showed you, that me and you are eating from the same korban, from the same, the Eibishter eats a part, you eat a part, that's the closest we can be. The Mashal says, as such a person, this, when it's a korban oila, okay, he eats the korban oila, but it's nothing to do with the Yidden. The Yidden bring the korban oila, the Eibishter eats it up, or it goes totally to the Eibishter. But a korban shlamim, where we both have parts, the Eibishter says, we're eating on the same table, from the same food, and now I sent you away. That's why, it didn't say a zevach. Loiv, the majority, why? Because a korban shlamim, the majority goes to the Eibishter, and some of it goes to the thing. That's how the Mashar explains this dialogue over here, this thing that Vuna said. Abelazar came to this pasuk. He cried. Watch pasuk by Yosef. Yosef, when he revealed himself to his brother, it says, it said, the pasuk says, his brothers couldn't answer him because they were frightened from him. They were scared, were frightened, embarrassed. Yosef was a human, flesh and blood, and he told his brothers, here I am. And the Shvatim, the Heilige Shvatim, were embarrassed. For sure, if the Eibishter comes and tells you off, how embarrassed would you be? When Abelazar came to this other pasuk, Bachi also cried. What does it say in pasuk? Pasuk is in Shmuel. This pasuk in Shmuel, which is this pasuk? Speaking about Shmuel, and it is in Shmuel. Shmuel passed away. David HaMelech was in its path to becoming a king. Shmuel passed away. The Pelishtim came and surrounded an area, and they wanted to go into war with that Saul. Shaul HaMelech is at a loss. His Navi that he would rely on isn't there. He goes to the Kahanim and asks in the Tumim in the Choshen, no answer. He cries to Hashem, no answer. What does he do? He goes to a lady, an oiv. What's an oiv do? She pulls down, ghosts. Pulls down the shamas from Shemayim. And she said, basically it was the story, you could look in detail, the story goes that he was hiding, he didn't want to show that he's the king. He actually was the one that killed all the oiv. And she recognized it, Shaul, and the Shaul promised he's not going to kill her. And in case, she asks him, who do you want to speak to? She says, get me Shmuel. Shmuel comes, he's woken up from the dead, comes down, and he screams at Shaul, why did you wake me up? Why did you upset me? And the Moshe is going to explain, what's this whole upsetness? What is this whole upsetness? So this is what the story. Shmuel told Shmuel, Lomo hirgastani lahalas. I say, why did you upset me or frighten me to bring me up here? And then basically it went back and forth, and Shmuel told him that your kingdom is done. Okay, so five lines from the beginning of the wider lines. Shmuel, the Gemara says, Shmuel Tzaddik was worried from the day of judgment. We're going to see in a second what that means. If we are called for the Eibishter, for the judgment, for the Beis Din, we should definitely be scared. Shmuel Maya, what's the story with Shmuel? The Chsiv, it says in the pasuk tamei Shal, the woman, this Oiv woman that pulled down Shmuel, before she pulled him down, she says, in a vision I saw. Shaul asked her, what did you see? So she said, in the vision I saw Elikim, I saw godliness. Oilim, they go up. Now if it's Shmuel, then it would say it's one person, should say Oila, one person goes up. But I saw the Isi Oilim, I saw them come up. Oilim, Teimashma, there's two of them. Chad Shmuel, the first one is Shmuel. Who's the other one? The Azal Shmuel went. Va'aisel Moshe, and he brought Moshe. Why did he bring Moshe by day? He brought Moshe with him. Amalei told Moshe, look, Dil Mechaz v'Shalom Dinam Isbeinu. Why am I being called? Because maybe the Eibush is calling me. It's my time to get judged. Ledino Midbein, I'm summoned in front of the judge. Come with me, stand with me. Why? The Lekem Milsa, the Kosafta B'Raisa, there is no word that you, Moshe Rabbeinu, wrote in your Torah, the Loi Kiyamte, that I did not fulfill. And I want you to be my witness when I come. And so when it came to Shaul HaMelech and told him, you scared me, because I thought I'm going to see the Eibishter, I'm going to the judgment. So now that if the Eibishter calls for judgment, Shmuel Tzaddik, he was scared for sure. Us that we're called for judgment for the Eibishter, we definitely should be scared. Now Tosfos says here that the third Tosfos from the bottom, says Tosfos, Loi boy lemema shiyoid loy. He's not coming to say that he's coming to be a witness. He's coming to as a witness. Moshe Rabbeinu is coming to say an edus that Shmuel was okay. Loi boy lemema shiyoid loy shekiyam hakoil. He's not coming to say a witness statement that yes, Shmuel Hanavi did everything correctly. The Manoyada. How would Moshe Rabbeinu know? It wasn't his generation. Shmuel would tell him this. Told Moshe, Kach v'kach dorashti. I opened up a pasuk and I said this is what I learned out of the pasuk. And according to what I learned, and I did my deeds. I did whatever I had to do. I passed on whatever I had to do. Boy v'ha'ideni, come and the witness statement that you're going to give is shekein limata gamata. When you taught the Torah, this is what you meant. I learned correctly and I did correctly according to what you taught in the Torah. That's what the Torah says. The Mashah says that lav dafka. It says that the people that passed on see all the deeds of a person on this world, and therefore we can rely on that he actually said an actual witness, and not that he used them to tell him that he learned Torah correctly. Okay, this is the story with Shaul, and this is why Rabbi Lazar became teary-eyed and became emotional when comparing Shmuel Tzaddik going to a day of judgment, and if we are being called, what are we going to do? Rabbi Ami came out like Rabbi Ami came to this pasuk. Which pasuk? This is a pasuk in Eicha. And what does it say? Yitein be'afar piu, dust, earth should be put into his mouth. Ula yesh tikva, maybe he will have hope. So it said, Oma kula hai, so much pain, so much suffering that we put dust in the person's mouth, and he only say Ula yesh tikva, kula hai ve'ulai. All you can come up with, maybe there's hope. So he cries, says, look, when we sin for the Eibishter and we try to do tshuva, Ula yesh tikva, maybe there's hope. Rabbi came out in Lahaika, when Rabbi came to this pasuk, Bachi, he cried. What does the pasuk say? Bikshu tzedek, bikshu anova. Search or righteousness, search humbleness. Ulai tisasu b'im af Hashem. If you look out and if you want to be righteous, you want to be humble, maybe when the Eibishter is going to pour out his wrath on the Yidden, maybe the Eibishter will hide you and not to pour the wrath. And again, the same thing. You're looking for it. You're trying to do stuff, and still kula hai ve'ulai, and this is not even going to help you. Maybe help you. And the greatness of looking out for righteousness, tzedakah, is being humble, and being righteous is one of the highest madregas, says the Mashal, and therefore that's why he's saying that even trying to look for being humble doesn't help you, then we're in trouble. Even if this passage cried, Sinu ra, hate evil, ve'ahav toiv, and love good, ve'atzigu, basically telling him, do hate evil and do good, ve'atzigu b'sham mishpat, and in your gates, in your cities, make sure that there's right judgments there. And even though you're doing everything correct, you're hating evil and you're loving good. Maybe the Eibishter will show mercy, will show graciousness. It's Kula Hai, we're going through all this trouble and our trouble. We're all going through this whole process, and the Eibishter only says, maybe the Eibishter will forgive you. He cried when he came to this pasuk. Some people die for absolutely no reason. There's no judgment against them. There's no reason they should die. It's not their time, and they die. And he cried. All right, you don't have to explain this pasuk. The word Omer is deleted, as you can see in Rashi. Rashi skips that word, and the Tosfos also says that this is not what Yosef said. This is the Gemara asks a question over here. Gemara asks a question. What does that mean? Is it such a concept that a person goes early? He doesn't go in his allotted time, so someone dies early. In Take, interesting story. Here's a story of Bibi Abai. The Malach came to him, and according to the Mefashim, when he came to him, he told him a story of something that happened years before. What happened? He told his the Malach had an errand boy, and he told his errand boy, his shliach, Zil Eisle Miriam Magdela said, bring me Miriam, the one that braids the hair of Neshaya of the woman. Aza, he went, Eisle Miriam Magdela Daltiki. He brought, basically, take her from this world. Bring her back. So he went, and he made a mistake. He found another Miriam. She was also called Magdela, and but she would raise little children, and took her. So Amalah, so the Malach said, "I know Miriam Magdela said Neshaya." I told her, bring with this Miriam, the one that braids the hair of the woman. Amalah, okay, I made a mistake. Sorry. Shall I bring her back? So no. If she brought her here, let her be counted in the count. That a certain so it was a quota. Malach has to have a quota, and cops have to have a quota of tickets, or it's accounted for the generation. So Bibi asks the Malach. Okay, it's a very interesting story. Hey, how were you able to if the time didn't come? How were you able to take her away? What did she do? Zaktar, it was a simple thing. Havanikitas mitab, she was holding a shovel that she would take out clean the oven. Vavakashiga machet anu, she was cleaning out the oven. Shaklasa, and she took the shovel that was very hot. Vanachta gaba the kan she put on her feet. Katcha, it got burnt. Ve'isa mazla, her mazla pasha luck went down. By Sisa, and I was able to bring her. So the Gemara finishes Amar Bibi Ba'abaya. 1 second. Can you just do that? Can you just, because the luck went bad, and that's why you'll kill this woman, this poor woman? She has not even, the time didn't come. Do you have permission to do that? Yeah. It says, doesn't it say that there are some people that pass away, that they are gathered in and passed away without a judgment? So maybe answer them. Doesn't it say a generation comes to generation goes, and it says a generation cannot leave until generation is full. So that she had to didn't live out her generation. Amma says the inalu shepherd. I'm shepherding these neshamas until the generation is filled, their quota, their time is over. Then I send it to Duma. Who is Duma? The dead will not praise Hashem. V'loi kol yodei Duma. Who is Duma?
Silent ones.
Huh?
Silent ones.
Yes, but Duma is a malach. Malach that's in charge of the dead. If you learn the Zoyal the night before the bliss, in that Zoyal brings the story of Duma as well. And the basic, the Mashal explains here that they are dead that just float around. Like it says, he's shepherding them. They float around. And when their time comes, the Malach HaMavet sends them to Duma, which is the lower going to Gehenna or whatever. So, not even those people that are flying around the world, floating around the world, and not people that are Baduma, they cannot praise Hashem. We can praise Hashem. We won't even have to. Mashar explains that the tefillah of the Hallel is that we don't even have to go through this whole concept. Maybe we'll go straight to the Mashiach Tzidkenu. But basically, here he tells him, "Yeah, I took this woman, I killed her early by mistake, I was a mistaken identity, and now now she will just be here, and I'll take her until her time really came, and then I'll send her to Duma. But at the end, she had a bunch of years that she had to live. Those years are wasted. Nothing is created for nothing. The Eibusha decided she lives a certain amount. You decide to go against the Eibusha, took away her years. What happens to those years? It says the Ikatsu in the bottom. There's a Talmud Chacham, the Mavev Mila that is Maivel Medoisav. He goes again. He goes beyond. He adds these years to her, and that becomes the exchange. Who is this Miriam Magdela Sela? Now, Lahavdil Elev Halv does. If you look in Christianity, there is someone called
Mary Magdalene.
there you go. Mary or Miriam?
I think Mary or
Mary Magdela. Who's Mary Magdela?
It's
So
Yoshia's mother.
So there's a machloikas aposkim by the what's it
too
called?
much. Speed.
Machloikas is whether
There's a whole story about that actually.
whether she is
She's
his
okay.
mother or a very close follower of his. She's now a saint. If you look, Holy Mary is the mama, and what's it called? This Magdala is someone else, but this Magdala is actually the Gemara says. Tosfos says here. There's it says here. Last days, the Masapa, he told her, he told him something that happened many years ago. The High Uvda, the Miriam Magdela Nashi of by Sheni was in the time of Sheni, because the Hoysa Imoy, the mother of who? Shalploini. Yashka's mother. But Isa b'Shabbos, and the Shabbos is interesting. In Shabbos, you open up a Gemara Shabbos, and it doesn't say it was censored out. Shabbos, the Gemara Shabbos censored out. There's a Tosfos in Shabbos that says there that this lady was the wife of Papus ben Yehuda. Papus ben Yehuda had a whole fight and argument with the Bakiva. He said he shouldn't teach her and not teach her, and with the story with the water, with the fox, with the fish, right? There's a story about the Bakiva. So that was Papus. I believe that was Papus ben Yehuda. Papus ben Yehuda says a Gemara in Gittin. He was overly strict on his wife, and when he left the house, he was so worried that she's going to go out and start doing stuff that he locked her up. So she rebelled against him, and now she said, I'm purposely going to do stuff. So that's the Tosfos, and they said from this thing, Yoshka was born, and here comes also the thing that they think she was a psula, never happened. But in any case, and the censors took it out from the Gemara Shabbos. It doesn't appear in our Gemara Shabbos. There's one Tosfos that's stuck in that whoever was censoring the Gemara didn't realize that the Tosfos also speaks about it. The Gemara took out, but Tosfos is left, and it's also not clear. But the Gemara in Gittin on the bottom, all the way in the end, speaks about it and says this is this Miriam Magdela. There were actually two, and whether it's the mother, one, it's not so clear, but it's basically either the mother or. And the Chavav was telling the Bibi, look, I want to take this woman away, and by mistake I left her a little bit longer.
You also have a story about her, something about she used to cut hair for a living.
That's it. That's it. Magdala stay on she would do what she would ready here. Okay, sag die Gemara weiter. Rabbi Yochanan kimat like Rabbi Yochanan did this pasuk. Bachi cried. What does the pasuk say? But this is Seini boy the boy is a pasuk in Eoiv. The Eibusha turns to the Satan and tells the Satan, the story of is that everything was going well, and the Eibusha wanted to reward him, and the Satan said, let me test him out, and then wiped everything away from Eoiv. So the Eibusha turns, and then Eoiv started saying, I don't know the whole Eoiv, I never learned it, but basically the idea is that Eoiv later on said things, he is complaining, but this is saying eventually, because he didn't do it right away. And the Eibusha turns to the Satan and was upset at him, at the Satan. But this is saying, boy, you harassed me. You made sure that I am going to harass Eoiv. Levali chinam, that I would swallow him, or I will annihilate him, or erase him for no reason. So the Rabbi Yochanan cried, if the Eibishter was incited to go against Eoiv for no reason, what should Eoiv have done? If the Eibusha decides to go and do something to us, there's no takon, there's no way out. If the people incite the master to go against his slaves to punish? Or does he have a remedy? Can he get out of it? He can. He cried, "Hein b'gdosh yamin." A pasuk in Eov that the Eibusha does not trust his holy people. So he said, the holy ones he doesn't trust. But who's he going to trust? What can we say? We're not holy. What can we say? Yom Echad Hava caused one day Birchim was walking. Be'ulcha is walking. Chazil Gavra, he saw a certain individual. They have a mankit tamei. He would pluck figs from the tree. Shavig Hanach Demoti. He left behind the ones that were ripe, the ripe figs. V'shakal Hanach Demoti. He took only the ones that were not ripe. Amalei, so Birchim turned to him. Lav Hanim Malatve. Aren't the ripe ones better? Amalei, he answered, Hanil Ulchabing. I need those unripe fruits because I'm going on a long trip and they will eventually ripen. If I take the ripe ones, they will go bad. Hananat, these I can save them for longer, and these I can preserve them. Amal, so Rabbi Yochanan said, this is what it says, the good figs I don't take. I don't trust the good people. And what are we going to say? You say that the Eibusha doesn't trust, which basically means the Eibusha would punish or take away from the world even his Kedoshim, even his holy people. That for no reason. They're holy, they did everything right, and lo yamin, I don't trust them, I take them away. There was a Talmud that lived in the neighborhood of Rabbi Alexandri. And he passed away when he was very young. Ve'amar Rabbi Alexander said, if this young Talmud Chacham would have really wanted, Havachaya, he would have still been alive. Because all he needed to do is change his ways. Basically, he's saying you were not acting so properly, something you did, and therefore you deserve to die. And now if you make tshuva, everything is good. So the Gemara is going to ask, if we say a pasuk that even someone that is a full tzaddik, the Eibusha still takes away, the Eibusha doesn't trust, maybe this Talmud Chacham didn't make up this. And he has no chance to live. Why would you say that he has a chance to live if he makes tshuva? Maybe he's a tzaddik. V'im is, if you say, maybe this Talmud is from those that the Eibusha says, even though he's a tzaddik, even though he's a kaddish, no, he's done. He dies. And but the Gemara, no, this Talmud everyone knew. He was chutzpahdik to his teachers, and he would deride them and talk against them, and therefore Alexander said with conviction that if he would have gone back on his ways, he would have not died. In a few more minutes, Rabbi Yochanan cried when he came to this passage, I will bring judgment closer to you. I'm going to bear witness, a quick witness. The mechashvim, the people that do kishuv, sorcery, b'menafim, people that do adultery, ubanishboim l'shekel, someone that swears l'shekel with the Eibusha's name, and someone that withhold payment from his workers. And so he cried and said, Eved sherabe mekalve, a servant that the Eibusha v'kiravti aleichem, I'm really going to be closer to you. Ledunoi, and then again, as he brought him closer, now he's going to bring this whole wrath down and do a quick trial, quick witnessing, against the people that did this avedus. Such a slave, such a servant, does he have any remedy? Does he have any way of getting out of it? The same as Yidden also, if the Eibusha just decides to bring us close from one side, and on the other side he looks at all avedus and he says, we did this, this, and that. What kind of, yeah. Amar Rabbi Zakai. Rabbi Zakai said, Rabbi Zakai is the one that lived in the times of the Chulm Beis Hamikdash, and he said in this pasuk the Eibusha put together people that do very big avedus, menafim, adultery, mechashvim, and people that do smaller avedus, some that withhold payroll. It's a woe to us that the Eibusha put in the same pasuk the more stricter, the more heavier avedus, and the lighter avedus. Then the Gemara is going to go weiter and speak about a few more psukim. I guess we'll do it next week.